Welcome, everyone. We are going live today, and we could not be more excited about this.
Yes, we are so excited. We're excited to meet our audience. We're excited to introduce ourselves and talk about this beautiful new venture that Kristyn and I have taken on.
Okay, so here's the plan for today. Louisa and I both have really interesting and different backgrounds that we want to share with you because this is going to help you understand where we're coming from, why we're doing what we're doing, and how you can get involved. And we'll talk about that at the very end. So stay tuned.
Yes, definitely stay tuned. Stay tuned for everything that we're going to share, all the goodies, all the information. And feel free to, at any time, drop your comments in the chat. We are doing our best to keep track of them and engage in conversation with you.
Definitely. We welcome your questions, especially because some of the things that we're talking about today are not mainstream. They're things that people might consider to be weird or different or for crazy people or for hippies. So we're here to let you know there are many normal people just like us that have these experiences, and we want to address any questions that come up, any curiosities that people have. So feel free to drop your comments in. Okay, so to get started, we're going to each share a little bit about our backgrounds.
Yes, yes, and I'll go ahead and get started. So I fell or fall, depending on how you look at it, into the box of weird and different, definitely unconventional. In my own spiritual journey, all of this started for me when I realized I was in the middle of a spiritual awakening. And to speak to the unconventional part, when I Googled my symptoms, I was schizophrenic, is what Google told me. So,
Yikes.
yes, yes. But it turns out that what I was actually undergoing was a spiritual awakening. And like I said, that is what got me here. I went through a period of digging deep. I always think of that statue where was that Michelangelo, where it's like carving out all the excess parts of ourselves and getting down to the core, to the authentic version of myself that I am today, which is absolutely unconventional. So, following that path and that journey of that spiritual awakening, I was enlightened to find out that I am very gifted, and as we all are. But I also found out that I'm a healer. I'm here to heal. My soul's mission is to help others heal the same way that I was able to heal myself. And today, a lot of the work that I do involves helping people understand energy healing. I am a soul realignment practitioner, or soul reader for simplicity purposes, and an energy healer. I work with the chakras. And one of the beautiful gifts that I've gotten in this spiritual awakening journey has been being able to see, it's called clairvoyance. So I'm able to receive messages, and using my clairvoyance and my chakra energy healing and the soul reading aspects of what I do, I'm able to help people get to the root cause of what's blocking them from the beautiful, amazing life that we were meant to live. So today I devote my life, every single day of it, to living this beautiful, unconventional path. And I've created this beautiful, unconventional business, right? Like, when do you hear people saying that their entrepreneurial experience is based on soul reading or energy healing? So it's a little bit uncommon, but that's what I do today. And that's how I ended up here with the beautiful Kristyn. Kristyn, let's hear your journey.
Yeah, so I'm coming from another direction here. My journey has been all about health. And looking back even years and years ago, I can remember always wanting to be healthier and trying to uncover what that meant. And years ago, it meant constantly going on diets and cutting calories. And then it meant giving up certain food groups and such. And that never really struck me as healthy. But as I was on this quest, I started to feel that certain foods were actually making me sick. I can remember shortly after college getting really sick from eating a yogurt, and I had no idea why. And finally figured out that, hey, maybe I'm lactose intolerant. Okay, so I cut out dairy. Not the most fun thing, but I did it fine. And then as the years go on, I've come to realize that I was also starting to get really sick again. When I tried to look and figure out what it was, I realized I had celiac, which is an intolerance for gluten. And for those who don't know, gluten is a protein that's created when you process wheat, barley, or rye, and sometimes oats. So it's something that's created by the processing process.
I love that.
I'm eloquent, I swear. Um, and so that kind of pushed me forward a little bit further on my journey. And I kept thinking, there's just got to be more. Like, this can't be it. Like, there's got to be something else to it, and I'm constantly cutting out this food. But what else is there? And I had been watching this documentary in my quest for better health. And I remember sitting on the couch, eating a nice, delicious chicken dinner, watching this documentary, and they start talking about meat and how processed meat is actually linked to so many diseases. And this is not one person's opinion. This is years and decades of studies that have been done, all finding the same conclusive information. And I put my plate down and I said, I can't do this anymore. This is overwhelmingly pointing to the direction I need to go in. And for me, that direction was vegan. And ever since then, I have stuck to it. I've had a couple bumps along the way trying to find my new lifestyle, but I have not regretted 1 second of it, even though it's been a journey. They call it a journey for a reason. It's been a real journey, but that's where I've landed. So now I am a vegan lifestyle guide. I help people who are looking to learn more about being vegan, who are vegan curious. I help them understand what it takes to go vegan in a relaxed way. So there's no pressure on it. You'll get there when you get there. And I'm also a Reiki practitioner, which is a form of energy healing, similar to what Louisa does, but I have essentially a different modality of it. So that's where we've both landed. We're just doing the unconventional thing here.
I love that. And yes, we do have the energy healing in common. And the other thing that we also have in common is building businesses around this unconventional sort of, ideas. Being vegan is definitely something that while we're all learning more about, it's not like across the board. I don't think it's widely accepted, right?
Right. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I do, the energy healing and the soul reading, definitely also unconventional. And we're both on this journey, which is how we met. We met in a program where we were both learning how to develop our businesses. We're both entrepreneurs, and we were both growing our skill sets to be able to be better entrepreneurs and to serve the people that we are helping even better. And when we met, I remember actually, Kristyn, I don't know if you remember. I remember we were in these things, they were called like pods. And
right.
Yes, we were each just sort of introducing each other and kind of seeing if you could find your people, like the people that you kind of wanted to work with throughout the program as a means to like be there for each other as we were building our businesses, something to that effect. And I remember meeting Kristyn, and then we kind of just fell off. We kind of went our separate ways throughout the program. And then we reconnected again, and we've been connected ever since, because I think it's very clear that the universe intended for us to work together. And so since then, we've both been building our own businesses, unconventional businesses, right alongside each other. We kind of help each other grow.
We really do. It's been an amazing partnership, and it just keeps going, which I so appreciate and I'm grateful for. The one thing I do want to emphasize here is that I didn't have this kind of upbringing. So my family and the culture I grew up in was very, I would call it traditional American dream, which is that I was taught to study hard in school, get good grades, then you go into a good college, then you get a good job, then you can buy a house, and so on and so on and so on. And so that has been just hammered into my head from day one, practically, as I think that is for many people in our country. And so when I was let go of my last job, which was almost 2 years ago, it was devastating for me. I was on a team that was part of an acquisition into this larger company. And then the larger company decided, we made a mistake. We don't want this acquisition at all. And they just let everybody go.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just devastating for me because I had worked so hard to get this job. I had been so excited about it. I'd only been there about 5 months, not that long, and this happened to me. And so I had to really reach deep within to come to terms with the fact that everything I had been taught my whole life was just not working out for me. And no matter how much I tried to interview, to get a new job, to reach out to everybody I'd ever met in my whole life to try to get a job, it just didn't work. It really didn't work. And I was so surprised. I thought, I'm great at interviewing. I'm smart. I know my stuff. I'm really good at what I do. Why is this not happening? This just doesn't make sense for me. And after a while of spinning my wheels, I just thought, okay, I need to find a new direction. It was too painful for me to keep interviewing, getting rejected, and repeating that over and over again. It was just too painful for me. And so that's when I started to think, okay, what am I really doing here? What am I actually passionate about? What do I really enjoy that I could potentially make a living from? And that is what led me to this course that Louisa was talking about, where we met each other. So for those out there who have had this same upbringing, like you're taught to study hard to get the good job, and then you stay at that job forever, or you have job security, don't worry. Like that works for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. And you don't have to follow that path. You can follow your passion and you can make money from it. And that is really our goal now, is to help impart this message to other people and to help people who are on the same journey.
Yeah, I love that because it was the same, very similar experience that you had. And I think that what we've done is a little bit against the grain because we have had the audacity to think that we can make a living doing something that we love. And we are here to do exactly that, to teach other people, not necessarily teach, I think more also share our own experiences in the journey to getting here, because we do understand and we understand and have experienced firsthand all of the difficulties and how hard it can be to think that that's something like that is possible, right? We're brought up with, like you mentioned, Kristyn, it's like the idea that, you go to school and you do really well so that you can get into a good college, so that, for some of us, I know that we both got, our master's degree. You got yours. You got a master's in business administration. Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And I got a master's in legal studies with a concentration in business law and compliance. And we were both led down this path of, if you do all of these things and then you get the white picket fence, which is what I call it, then you will be successful, period. Like there is no in between. There is no other way. There is no other buts. But when you experience what I think we both experienced in different ways, right? Because I left my corporate job because I couldn't wake up anymore and feel anything positive about waking up. There was absolutely nothing that brought me joy when I had to think about logging in, because even working from home, I know that's something that, for me, myself, it was like this wonderful idea that I can do it. It's fine because I get to work from home. Like, why wouldn't I be able to do it? Like, what would I have to complain about if I get to do this work from home? And the answer was a lot. It actually got proactively like worse every day when I had to consider that I was waking up to do this thing and follow life in this rhythm that was so unnatural to me. And I
Yeah.
know that, we're both very passionate, not only about what we do, but about making everyone else know that we can all do this. We're not any different. We
Yes.
had the same upbringing as most of us have. And, if you've had a similar experience or you have woken up and had that nagging feeling of, I don't want to do this. Why is my life like this?
Yeah.
Drop something in the comments. Drop a comment. Let us know how you experienced that because we completely understand. We've both felt that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think one of the toughest points for me was after I had accepted, okay, I cannot go back to the corporate life, but then it was, now what? What am I actually passionate about, interested in? Like, I don't know. I don't have anything. I felt really boring actually in that moment.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm curious to know, what are other people's passions? Drop that in the comment right now too. I'm really curious because for me, it was like, just because I had been vegan doesn't mean I need to start a business around it. But the more I thought about it, the more it actually is something that I am really passionate about. It is important to me. I have 2 young children that are also vegan, and I'm reminded almost daily why I'm doing this, because they are facing challenges too. They're facing challenges at school with their friends who are on different diets, different lifestyles than us, that are eating different food, and they're getting questions. And it is my job to empower them, to make sure they understand why we're doing this, why it's important to our family. So I'm reminded all the time that this is an important journey for us. And I'm helping my kids, I'm helping my whole family understand this. And I'm experiencing all the awkward social situations, going to birthday parties, holiday get-togethers, even just a friend says, hey, let's go out to dinner. Okay, great. What restaurant do you want to go to? Now I have to think about it and research it and the whole thing. But this is part of it. So this is where I came in and thought, I think I really can help people who are vegan curious to do this in a way. And I want to know if you're vegan curious. Drop that in the comment right now.
Yes.
Because I know there are people out there. Most of the time, when I talk to people about this, it comes up. You're going to laugh at me. It comes up at the playground.
I love it.
Yeah, it happens all the time. And it's not like I'm forcing it. It literally comes up. So it just happens. And it's an opportunity for me to throw that out there and see where people are at. A lot of times, one parent in a family is vegan curious, but that person will tell me, oh, my partner would never be on board. They would never do it. They would never give up real meat. And I'm saying, you know what? Here's a little tip. Try this and let me know how it goes. So that happens all the time. P.S. If you want a free tip on how to go vegan, if you're vegan curious, drop the word vegan in the comments and I'll send you the tip right after this. It works every time.
I love it. And I can say firsthand that it does. I've been on my own vegan curious journey. And I mean, I get to, I'm lucky enough to have the guide as my friend. But definitely drop in the comments if you are vegan curious, because Kristyn can get that to you. It's very helpful. And I think that what it does, being able to share what we love and the things that we're passionate about with everyone else, I think it opens the door to allow us to see ourselves in our authentic light and at least explore whether that's our authentic light, because it is important, I think, that we take into account that, like Kristyn shared, it doesn't just happen where you wake up and you're like, this is what I'm going to build a business around because I can't work in corporate anymore. It doesn't happen like that for most of us. It's a journey of exploration. It's a journey of learning yourself. It's a journey of accepting yourself, and ultimately a journey of loving yourself, and right along that journey for me, I don't know if this was your experience, and if it was, drop it in the comments, drop self-love in the comments, because that's where I'm going with this. Right along that journey of creating my business around, this unconventional lifestyle where I read people's souls to help them give direction and find the purpose that they're meant to express in this lifetime, and where I help them heal all the blocks and wounds. Right along that journey, I realized that I couldn't help people if I didn't love myself and if I didn't understand and know myself so that I could help them do the same. It's really hard to embrace that you're going down this unconventional journey if you don't accept that there's work that has to be done, that you have to learn new things, that you have to make yourself vulnerable, open yourself up to the guides and the people, the knowledge, the awareness, the experiences that are going to get you to the other side, right? And I think that's a big part of this journey for a lot of us. And it's important to accept that we can make a shift. It is important to make a shift, right? Our lives on earth, it's cyclical, right? We go through seasons. There are 4 seasons every year. So it would be really, really kind of against the grain to think that we don't need to evolve, that we don't need to learn new things, that we don't need to dig deeper into who we are. And with the work I do, that's what I love the most, is the ability to dig deeper, is the ability to start with the root cause. What is the root cause that is preventing you from being able to move forward? Because knowing the root cause opens the door to the work that we need to do to be able to embrace these new parts of ourselves. And I absolutely love the work that I do because every single day I'm able to make an impact. Whether it's, a word that I say that really resonates with someone on their journey, or whether it's a tip that I share, and these tiny little things are really life-changing for us. But we also do understand that it's not easy to go against the grain when your family is like, what are you doing? Why did you go to business school? Why did you go to law school? You're wasting your life. And that's very common. I know that I've experienced it. I continue to experience it. There are people in my life who are like, well, there you go, wasting your life and that great education that you have,
Yep. Sounds familiar.
But it's not for other people to decide. It is your journey. It is each and every one of our journeys. And, that's what brought us together. That's what brought us on this venture to share not only what we love individually, but also on this podcast, right? Like the beauty of flying upstream. Like when everyone else is flying in a completely different direction, you're like, I'm going to be that blackbird and I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And everybody's like, what are you doing? What is happening? What are you doing? You lost your mind. I love the term black sheep, but we're going to change it to blackbird now, because that is exactly what we've done here is we want to embrace the beauty of everything that is unconventional, much like our lives are at this point, both of our lives.
Yes.
Our families' lives, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I love that, Louisa. I think that you're so spot on when you're talking about the self-love, and where it really originates from is that you have to be able to first admit that either you are wrong or you will be wrong. You will fail, and that's okay. That is the path to getting better for everything. Even, the analogy I always hear is little kids, babies, when they're learning to walk, you don't just stand up and walk for the first time. No, they fall down hundreds of times before they can walk, and then they run, and then they're jumping. And that's where we're at too, right? So I think Louisa and I have fallen down a lot. I'm sure there are more falls waiting for us as well.
Yes.
But it's about embracing that. And part of that is the self-love, right? So learning to recognize that it's okay that you don't love yourself right now. It's okay to be unhappy with your job or your family or your just your life in general is really, really okay and actually pretty normal. And in fact, you need that unhappiness to propel you forward in the direction that is right for you. If you never have that unhappiness, you'll never move. You'll just stay where you are forever. So it's just important to recognize that, and as much as you can, embrace it, even though it's unpleasant and uncomfortable, and that's okay. Just be okay in the uncomfortness just for a little bit, not forever, but that's what's going to help you move forward, right? And we've both experienced that a lot.
Yes.
Whether it's from, both external and internal forces, I would say. So external is family and friends being like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're wasting your life. This is really dumb. You're never going to make money. All the comments, all of it. And my own inner self too, at times has been like, Kristyn, seriously, what are you doing?
Yes. Yes.
What? Seriously, what are you doing? This is not going to work. Like, you need to go back, interview, get a job like you're supposed to do, right? That's my inner voice. But I just have to tell myself, you know what? That's just not for me anymore. That served me at one point in my life, but it's not. And that's okay. That's totally fine. So that's where we are. And that's, as Louisa said, a huge reason we started our podcast, Flying Upstream, because we want to normalize that being the blackbird is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You go on and fly upstream when you need to. And maybe it doesn't have to be your whole life. It can just be here and there, but it's okay. It's okay to do that. And we encourage you when it's right for you.
Yeah. And I love that. I love the part where you said, fly upstream when you need to. And drop fly upstream in the comments if you are one of those blackbirds, or if you want to be one of those blackbirds, because we love that too. And I love that phrase that you said, when you need to, because flying upstream and being that blackbird is not something, it's not like you need to be this, just go against the grain in everything that you do and at every moment in your life. But it does mean that there are moments of discomfort. That's where growth happens. And, energetically speaking, I love this from Esther Hicks, where she says, when you experience the exact opposite of what you feel. So, for example, when you experience the idea, right, that I cannot do this 9 to 5 anymore. When that deep desire arises in you, when you're like, I just cannot anymore, that launches a rocket of desire of the complete opposite feeling of what you want to feel. So even energetically, and mostly energetically, you are creating what you want on the other side. You have launched the rocket that if you continue to fly upstream in that process to be able to get to the other side, you will get what you want. The universe has already started to work on it for you, as long as you're willing to take that time period of change that is required for you to grow. Because that's what happens, right? That's what, when you and I experience the internal, that internal resistance that we all experience because we're flying against everything we've been taught, the limiting beliefs that other people imposed on us, not necessarily negative. Usually it starts with our parents, who are trying to do the best that they can for us and believe that they are most of the time. It's everything that everyone else told us, and we just believed. We were just like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do, because these are the people that love us. These are the people that care about us. And the people that we love and care about us are also doing it, and it's working for them. But we're not inside of them. We don't know what they feel, and it really doesn't matter. How do we feel? And so it's so important for us. That's where we are, at a space of growth, a space of personal growth, which is an essential part of life. So do embrace those blackbird moments of your life, and drop blackbird in the comments if you agree, because that's what we're here for. We are here to support all the blackbirds flying in that opposite direction. We're here to empower us, empower each other, and create this beautiful community of blackbirds that are just embracing our authenticity. Let's embrace our authentic selves and embrace that black bird at the times that we need to.
Yes, I could not agree more with what you're saying. I think part of what makes it so scary is that you are breaking the cycle. So as you mentioned, potentially our families and their parents before them and their parents before them were all told the same thing in some capacity: work hard, get a good job, and stay there, don't move, right? So that's how you make money in life, that's how you get job security. And so it's really scary to break that cycle of what your family has done forever, right? Seemingly forever. So whether that's job, career wise, whether it's the way you choose to raise your children, whether it's your diet, your lifestyle, where you choose to live, anything, all of it, right? How you dress, it can be really scary because you're getting those disapproving looks and comments from people that you care what their opinion is of you.
Yeah.
And so for those people who are out there who are having that moment where you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but if I go the other direction, my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, someone I love, my partner is going to be unhappy. I just want you to know that what you're doing is for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. And if you try to do it for anybody else, you're going to wind up back at the beginning and you'll have to keep going down this path.
Yeah.
So that's a huge piece of this too, is having that courage. And that's what we're here to help with. We're help to give you that courage. If you need a little courage, drop courage in the comment box now. And we're going to send you a little extra love today, because it's so important to remember that you're not alone. Even though it's scary and you have no idea what you're doing, you're trying to be your authentic self. Even though the world is against you, we're sending you a lot of courage.
Yes, we are here to send you all the courage. We're here to be all the encouragement. We're here to share all the tools, the tips, the knowledge, and the beauty of everything that we've learned on this journey, because we want you to be that black bird at the time that it matters most.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think that we are so grateful. I know we are so grateful to everyone for joining today. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing launch. Thank you for taking the opportunity to get to know both of us. We are thrilled and cannot wait to get to know each and every one of you as well. So what happens from here? Well, next thing for you to do is make sure you follow and subscribe us on YouTube, our podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and definitely make sure to follow us on Instagram for sure. Louisa, anything you want to say?
No, yes, I just would love to add. I'll add all the links for you to follow us right in the chat along with this video, and seek us out, DM us, send us questions, send us comments. We're here to be a vibrant, beautiful part of the community that's going to help you be the black bird that's flying